Hello everyone, this is Matthew with Evidence-Based Faith. Thank you for coming onto my channel. Today I'm going to be answering the question, does the Bible condone abortion? Now, of course, the abortion issue is a very hot topic right now in light of the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. And a particular pro-abortion argument that has resurfaced is the argument that the Bible teaches that God doesn't equate abortion to murder. Now, the alleged scriptural reference for this teaching is found in Exodus chapter 21, verses 22 through 25. Now, pro-abortionists have actually been claiming for a while now that Exodus chapter 21, verses 22 through 25 implies or indicates or flat out teaches that abortion is not murder. But the truth is, it doesn't teach that at all. It actually teaches the complete opposite, and I'm going to prove it. Exodus chapter 21, verses 22 through 25 says, "If men strive and hurt a woman with child, so that her fruit depart from her, and yet no mischief follow, he shall be surely punished, according as the woman's husband lay upon him, and he shall pay as the judges determine. And if any mischief follow, then thou shalt give life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burning for burning, wound for wound, stripe for stripe." Now, this is what pro-abortionists argue regarding this passage. They start out with the assumption that the words, "her fruit depart from her," refers to the death of the baby, namely a miscarriage. So their basic reasoning about the passage is this: if a man causes a woman to miscarry, he just has to pay a fine. Therefore, killing or causing the death of an unborn child can't be equal to murder because murder is punishable by death. And this, of course, means that abortion, according to the Bible, can't be equal to murder, since abortion is the act of killing or causing the death of an unborn child. Now, this line of reasoning is of course predicated on the notion that the words, "her fruit depart from her," in Exodus chapter 21, verse 22, does in fact refer to a miscarriage. The problem, however, is they do not in any way refer to a miscarriage. They actually refer to the baby's premature birth. This is made abundantly clear when you look up the passage in the Hebrew. Here's a literal rendering of the text from the Hebrew. "And when men fight and strike a pregnant woman, and her children go forth, and there is no injury, he shall surely be fined as the husband of the woman may put upon him, and he shall give by the judges. But if there is injury, you shall give life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burning for burning, wound for wound, stripe for stripe." So the passage is saying if men fight and hit a pregnant woman and cause her children to go forth, or it can also be rendered come out, as in cause her children to come out of her womb, but there is no injury, he'll be fined. But if there is injury, he'll give life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, etc. Now, just for the sake of transparency, I will admit that some modern translations have translated the phrase, "and her children go forth," as a miscarriage. I think, however, that this has been done in error. You see, there's a particular Hebrew verb for miscarry, or be bereaved of the fruit of the womb. And it's actually found in Exodus chapter 23, verse 26, which says, "There shall nothing cast their young, nor be barren in thy land, the number of thy days I will fulfill." But this verb is not found in Exodus chapter 21, verses 22 through 25. The Hebrew verb for birth that's being used in this passage is go forth. This verb is never used to refer to a miscarriage or abortion. It's always used to refer to live children. That, combined with the fact that the words, "and yet no mischief follow," come right after the verb, go forth, makes it abundantly clear that this passage is indeed talking about a premature birth and not a miscarriage. It would make no sense to say, "and yet no mischief follow," after a miscarriage has occurred, because a miscarriage is certainly an example of mischief. Now, in response to this, some may claim that the no mischief part is only referring to the mother. But that's not what the passage says. It just says no mischief. It's a general statement, which of course implies that it means no mischief, period. In conclusion, let me say this. Not only does the Bible not condone abortion, but it actually condemns it, because it condemns the act of killing an unborn child. And abortion by definition and by practice most certainly is the act of killing an unborn child. Pro-abortionists have completely misrepresented the passage that we've been discussing. Exodus chapter 21, verses 22 through 25 clearly teaches that killing an unborn child is wrong on every level. Pro-abortionists will find no support for their view on abortion in God's Word, only condemnation.